Hello everybody and welcome to lesson 2 of the expressive skills unit. Please pause the video now and try and recall all 8 expressive skills. Okay, so let's move on to how this is going to link to different aspects of our learning. So last lesson we were obviously introduced to the new unit and we looked at focus and projection. Today we're going to look at spatial awareness and sensitivity to other dances, and in the future we are looking at musicality and phrasing. So we're going to do these expressive skills in pairs, so for each lesson we'll do 2 expressive skills. So how will this link to my wider learning? So we're obviously going to be understanding performance skills, understanding contemporary dance, understanding the stylistic features of contemporary, and today we're going to be looking at the choreographer Merce Cunningham. This will broaden our learning. It's going to link to history and music. So history in terms of looking back at the origins of American modern dance, and in terms of music, so we're going to look at John Cage, who is a composer who worked closely with Merce Cunningham. So our learning objectives, we are going to understand and define the expressive skills, spatial awareness and sensitivity to other dances, and we are going to gain knowledge on contemporary dance pioneer Merce Cunningham. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, last lesson we looked at some of the origins and a bit of information about American modern dance. So just pause the video now to remind yourself of that knowledge that we learnt. Okay, so who is Merce Cunningham? We're going to watch a video now, which I've put the link of that video in the description of this YouTube video, and I've just labelled it video 1 for you. So if you just click on that link, make sure you pause this video, click on that link and have a watch of the video. It's roughly 6.5 minutes long, so have a watch of that, really absorb all the information about Merce Cunningham and then come back to this video. Okay, you should have just finished watching the 6 sides of Cunningham and learned a lot about how Merce Cunningham used different techniques to expand contemporary dance and to challenge it. Overall, here's some just basic information about Merce. So born in 1919, unfortunately died in July 2009. Worked very closely with Martha Graham, another pioneer who we're going to look at throughout this unit. He formed his own dance company called the Merce Cunningham Dance Company, made use of the chance procedure, so we've just heard about that in that video, so the rolling of the dice to decide things, the flipping of the coin to decide things, so not basing his decisions on his choice, making it a chance thing and a random thing. And sometimes he did not even tell his dancers the order of the performance and would leave that up to chance. So really interesting method. And we know that he worked closely with John Cage, so the musical composer that you've just learnt about in that video. Okay, so Cunningham technique, his actual dance style, his technique that he's formed, has a strong sense of spine. So a lot of the work is from the back, either in opposition to the legs or in unison with them. So it's almost like you dance as a top half and a bottom half. Sometimes they're in sync and sometimes they can be opposing each other. The use of space as a sense of direction. So he doesn't like a front idea. So as we normally walk into our studio and we always face the same direction. He wouldn't have that. He would decide what front he would have, but also his pieces and his technique exercises are always using space really creatively, so changing direction often, looking at levels, looking at pathways. He's also not interested in telling traditional stories. We're not going to get some characters in a traditional story such as Cinderella, for example, but it's more dance for dance sake or movement for movement's sake. Okay, key concepts, and I stole this directly from his website. His website is really good, so if you wanted to go look at it, feel free to do some extra research on his website. But his key concepts are the torso and the leg work, which we've just talked about. So Cunningham technique develops clarity, strength and flexibility in both the spine and leg work. The torso and legs are either used in coordination or opposite to one another. Spatial awareness, so our expressive skill that we're looking at, is a key concept of Cunningham's technique. So spatial awareness is gained by implementing multiple changes of direction with a single phrase, where any point in space can be a dancer's front. In more advanced works, various parts of the body move simultaneously in multiple directions. Also, another key concept is rhythmic accuracy, so looking at rhythmic content or technical skill. So a variety of meter and tempos are given throughout the class to build a foundation for rhythmic precision and dynamic movement. So pause the video now, just 3 bullet points: the torso and the leg work, spatial awareness and rhythmic accuracy.
1 and 2 and change. My idea about technique always was, well, you have to be strong, you have to be flexible some way, and resilient. And by resilient, I mean not only the resilient body, but maybe in the head too, some way so that you can change. Given the human body, what it is, because it has very limited ways of moving, but given that, to be able to move in as many varied ways as possible. To be able to be so balanced physically, and maybe with your head, that you can move in a variety of ways, not just, say, 1 or 2 ways. Now step left, right, skip, turn, and you start again. Right, left, up, ba, ba, ya, ba, da, ba, turn. Left, right, skip, step. Arms are open here, ba, ba, you this way, and the last one, step, step, turn. All the way to there to start all over again. Something about flexibility, something about doing what you have to do as well as you can do it, at the same time not get stuck with it. Get there each time, out, under, turn here, up, arm, get there, get to the position. Don't do this, this, and this, and this. It's not that slow, but that's what it looks like to the eye, and it has to be a single thing that stops, really stops. The same thing here, a single thing that stops, absolutely still. So it isn't this, and then that, and that. That makes another kind of thing. You get a very clear, complete shape right at the same moment. Once more, please. Let's try it faster. It's too slow. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, out, up, out, back. Now turn, close.
Okay, so we've just watched that great video on Merce Cunningham, and we saw him teaching and talking about his technique, which is really great. When we get back to school, we're hopefully going to experiment with some Cunningham technique phrases as well. But moving on to our expressive skills, we're going to carry on filling in this table. You should have had it from last lesson as well. And we'll be writing the definitions in those 2 boxes there on the left, the importance in the middle there, and then how to improve on the right. So if you haven't already, you need to pause this and sketch out this part of the table, or if you're continuing on the Word document, that's absolutely fine. Okay, sensitivity to other dances. So having an awareness of and connection to other dancers. So being aware, being connected to the other dancers you are dancing with. And you might achieve this by using formations, performing safely, having different groupings, using your space wisely. So let's get on to filling out the table. So we have our definition, so write that down please, the awareness of and connection to other dancers. This you don't need to write down, but just so we can imagine this. So performing a contact duet with the awareness and consideration for your partner. Moving on to how we improve it. So using peripheral vision, not just staring forward, but using every aspect of your vision to be able to take in where people are. Practicing obviously is going to help. Having awareness of other dancers, you can do that by using the mirrors. And filming yourself and then watching it back to check your spacing. Why is it important to be sensitive to other dancers? We obviously don't want any injuries, collisions, so it will reduce the chance of that. Perform in the correct spacing. Have an effective use of the space. So if you know where the other dancers are, you're going to be able to use your space effectively. And you might want to gain trust in your group or partner if you are doing something like contact work. Okay, so pausing the video now to write all of this information in, please. Okay, spatial awareness. So it is defined as the consciousness of surrounding space and its effective use. So whereas sensitivity to other dancers is about the dancers, the people you're with, spatial awareness is about you and the space around you. Because sometimes we get a bit muddled with these two, but really important that you read the definitions, you know the definitions to have that difference in your brain. So holding your own space, being aware of other dancers, using effective pathways, using the whole of your space is how you're going to do that. Let's fill in the table then. So defining it as the consciousness of surrounding space and its effective use. A little description for you. So holding your own space, being in the correct formation, facing, pathway and level. Don't have to write that down, it's just a little example. We have our ways to improve spatial awareness. So using the mirrors to enhance your awareness. Again, using your peripheral vision, rehearsal, filming yourself back to check the spacing. Again, I think this is where we sometimes get confused because how we improve it and the importance of both of these skills are kind of similar. So learning the definitions and knowing that difference is really going to help you. Importance. So again, if you're spatially aware, you're going to reduce the chance of injury. You're going to be able to perform the correct spacing of the dance choreography phrase. And you're going to be able to use the space effectively and to your advantage. So that was our final expressive skill for today. So pausing the video now to write all of this down in the table. Okay, just a quick plenary, so it's just 1 to 5 bullet point. This can be on a whiteboard, scrap piece of paper, or in your book if you like. And answering these questions, please. Please pause the video now so that you don't see the answers which are coming up. Okay, so number 1, some of Cunningham's key principles was the torso and the leg work, having spatial awareness and rhythmic accuracy. Now there were lots of others mentioned, but those were just the 3 key ones that we looked on that slide. But yeah, please do your own further research into Merce if you want to find out more about him. Number 2 was the definition of focus. So it's the use of the eyes to enhance performance qualities or interpretive qualities. Number 3 was to define projection, so the energy the dancer uses to connect with and draw in the audience. Number 4, you could have had to use mirrors. And number 5, the importance of it is to reduce the chance of injury. Okay, so that is the end of the lesson for today. Like I said, please feel free to do your own research into American modern dance and Merce Cunningham. You can do this by going onto YouTube or on the internet. And please continue to look back at that table and use it as a revision tool to really get these expressive skills clear in our minds. Well done, everybody, and I will see you next lesson.